Welcome to another edition of Feminist Fumbles. As always, I am Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian, giving you the news and stories that don't quite make it on my Smash series, but worth talking about while trying to keep it short, simple, and sarcastic. As always, I am Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian, giving you the news and stories that don't quite make it on my. Okay, so I did that on purpose this time, listening to myself, because I'm actually testing out a microphone that my roommate, Egregious Charles, wow, I actually said that right, has loaned me to do videos with. So I'm testing it out. Plus, I'm trying a new way to do the voices and testing that out. So you're going to be my test bed. Anyways, new day today where we're going to talk about the Feminist Fumbles. Also, happy Pay Equality Day. Apparently, I didn't know until like just a few minutes ago. So, happy the day where we talk about pay equality. That doesn't actually exist. So let us get started today. As always, if you're watching, feel free to leave a comment in the little chat box over here. Or if you're watching after the live event, feel free to leave one down below. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started today. The death threats made in feminist cupcake dispute. Now, my first thought is like, this is a feminist bake sale, but they're using pink. But isn't pink supporting the gender binary by saying that women like pink? Just a thought. Okay, so as part of the annual Feminist Week, Queensland Students' Union, UQU, Women's Collective, that's an interesting name. We are women of Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Sold cupcakes for which those identifying as men were charged $1. $1. Women and members of other minority groups received varying discounts based on the pay gap of the faculty they were members of, based on data provided by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, which was like earned an average that full-time men earn like $1,500, nearly $1,600 a week, which was nearly $300 more than women, with greater disparity in STEM professions, which means that they were comparing a little bit from column A to column B without taking any consideration of things like experience, how long they've been with the company, or any other mitigating circumstance. Just comparing column A to column B. That's it. And that one line of saying greater in STEM professions just really proved that to me. So LGBT, disabled, and BME students, I don't know what BME stands for, also received discounts based on the disparities in pay in their chosen industries. So from here, it just kind of goes into how there's a Facebook group that talked about this and how they really disliked it. Not all of the people here, though, were actual students, but really just outside people, as it had nearly over 37,000 members. I might need to join this group with that many. So anyways, they're talking about how they didn't like it. And then, who's this? Madeline Price, the gender and sexuality vice president of the UQU, was heartily, mostly from those not at the university. She received emails and private messages personally attacking her and making threatening remarks to organizers and attendees. Now, as she said,
the majority of men who approached the bake sale did so in solidarity to the cause. They handed over $1 without even considering the other factors. Many were surprised to learn that their status as a man with a disability or identifying as an LGBTIQAEIEIO also allowed them a discount proportionate to their economic losses in real life.
okay, I added the EIEIO because it's just ridiculous how many fucking letters that is. They're trying to be inclusive of everyone. So that was pretty much it for the article. And yeah, we haven't really, this isn't something that's new. We've seen this sort of thing before, but, you know, it hit Australia, which I'm always saying seems to be like a generation behind us. So they're just now receiving the feminist cupcakes for pay discrimination, which doesn't actually exist. But hey, why not? Now, something that I believe was in this article somewhere, or maybe I read somewhere else, that, oh good, I have international long distance on my track phone, that this was not about making a political point, but about raising awareness and making a discussion. And the problem with that is that, no, that's not what it did. All it really did was it made a political statement. That's all it basically did, was just make a political statement, and that's it, because there is no discussion. People who are doing this don't want to have a discussion on these things. They just want to sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. They just want to make a political statement, and that's it. They just, there is no discussion. There is no room for discussion. So that's why I generally don't like this sort of thing, because all it is just, oh, we want to make a statement and you have to pay more money. But in all honesty, because look at it from the reverse. If white people were included upon the specialty group, and this was like, oh, blacks have to pay more money, racist. Women have to pay more money, sexist. Gays have to pay more money, homophobic. Disabled people have to pay more money, ableist. And yet white people, perfectly okay. White men, specifically, perfectly okay for them to pay more money, which, in my opinion, actually in itself is sexist, racist, homophobic, and ableist. Because you put all of these people into a special bubble saying that they need more protection. Okay, I have international minutes. I don't really give a shit about that. Sorry. If I get angry and then something else happens, I'll get angry about that. But you're putting all of these people into a protective bubble saying that they need special protection, that they don't have any responsibilities to themselves, to me, is the ultimate form of discrimination, by saying that they're protected and need special protections and they can't be equal to white men, that white men have to suffer for them to prosper. That is just the ultimate form of all of those things. And that's just my honest opinion. Okay, so let's see. All right, it looks like my technical difficulties are done with. Let's try this one more time. There, we're back. All right, so let's see if anyone has commented yet. I know I'm doing this like an hour early. Let's move on. Kind of wasted a lot of time on that. College student scandal. Sydney male students pro chant caught on camera. which seems like we have an Australia Day today. So basically what happened is that there was a video caught, and this is pretty much what it looked like. I'm not going to play the video, but you couldn't really discern anything. But it got leaked of students basically glorifying rape. Well, what is it that they said on the video? Well, they were singing first and foremost. That's what the news article is saying. And that a whole chorus of them joined together. So what were some of the lyrics? Well, first off, I'm going to tell you this wasn't actually singing. It was more of cadence like you do in a military. And anyone who's been in the military knows exactly what I'm talking about. Everywhere you go, everywhere you go, people always say, people always say. It's basically like that. That's what they were doing. I don't technically call that singing, although I guess you could a little bit. It's a minor point, but this is what they're doing, and I'm going to kind of repeat it back to you. I wish all the ladies were little red foxes, and if I were a hunter, I shoot them up in their boxes. I wish all the ladies were buns in the oven. And if I was a baker, I'd cream them by the dozen. That's actually rather clever. Actually, both are a little bit on the clever side. Let's do one more. Actually, let's do just these. Yeah, let's do all of these because I actually kind of like this. I wish all the ladies were holes in the road. And if I was a dump truck, I'd fill them by the load. I wish all the ladies were bells on a tower. And if I were a bellboy, what the hell is a bellboy? I'd bang them every hour. I guess it's the person that actually rings the bell. I thought that was all automated. I wish all the ladies were sheep in the grass. And I was a kiwi. What the hell is a kiwi? I do them up in the arse. It's probably an Australia thing. And in the arse? I mean, you have all over this place warning adult content and you can't write the word ass. I don't even understand this last one. Sheep in the grass and, grass and ass. I can understand that, but yeah, okay, these are not like the best thing to actually say to a woman, but these were men by themselves just laughing it up and having a joke. It's not like they said it to a woman. Okay, but then the complaint here is that this is glorifying rape. Are you fracking serious? I know I'm supposed to be sarcastic and not really angry, but my God, are you seriously equating this to being rape? If anything, this song, I don't want to call it a song, but this cadence is saying they want to have a lot of sex. That's it. They just want to have sex. If all the ladies were little foxes, they'd be a hunter and shoot them up in their boxes. Buns in the oven, cream them by the dozen. That is not rape. That is saying they want to have a lot of sex. In fact, feminists should be supporting this because by the suggestion of the song, they don't care what a woman looks like. They don't care what her ethnicity is. They don't care about anything. They just want to have sex with women. That's it. That's what the song is saying, which is what feminists are always saying, that we shouldn't judge women by their appearance, by their ethnicity, or anything. And maybe I'm reaching here, but honestly, that's more of what the song sounds like than saying it glorifies rape. And again, this is an article to stand on a soapbox, and guess what they want to talk about? Wait for it. Wait for it. I forgot where it was. Help if I could spell. Rape culture. Of course, it has to be about rape culture. Because why not? So, yeah, the rest of this article really goes into like, oh, well, there's a rape culture and these guys were really bad. And, you know, this isn't an isolated incident and toxic masculinity, blah, blah, blah. And it really goes into a lot of things. Also talking about bro culture. Okay, I could give you that it's bro culture. I could even give you that this is not the kind of behavior that you would want to have around women. And yet, this was just men in a private setting, not trying to harass women, but just singing a song. This is what men do. Hell, this is what women do. And yet, oh my God, it's so horrific that guys think like this, that they want to have sex. You're a primal instinct of having sex, or that a guy is comparing women to different things and saying what he would want to do. Oh my God, you poor women. I like this right here. So overblown. Yes, this is a song degrading to women, but to say it's about rape is wrong. You know, I can give you degrading. I mean, I don't really think it's degrading, but I could see how you could come to that conclusion. But yes, it's not a song about rape. This is just clickbait at its finest. Congratulations, feminists. You've proven that anytime something is said derogatory about women, it has to be rape, because it can't be anything else. And they formed a big R for respect. Should I start singing the song? I don't know the words off of hand. R-E-S-E-C-T, that's what it means to me. All right. So let's go to our last article for the day. This horrifying and newly trending online harassment tactic is ruining careers. So this article is mostly talking about Allison Rapp. Now, I've seen Mundane Matt's video, and yeah, she did do a thesis on about, you know, sex crimes and all of that, and a lot of people say that it's basically in support of child prostitution and things like that. Based on what Mundane Matt says, it's not really about that. It was really just a comparison of Japan and America. I haven't fully explored it for myself, so I'm not really going to comment on Allison Rapp specifically. I don't know if her getting fired was a good thing or not. But this article is mostly talking about how things like doxing and swatting are bad. And yeah, they are. But more specifically, it's saying that these are things done by people in the Gamergate movement. She actually specifically says Gamergate. Here, I'll show you. Gamergate right there. First high-profile victim, Zoe Quinn, which I don't believe for 1 minute that Gamergate actually doxed her, and I believe that Zoe Quinn created the false narrative. But even if someone did, to say that it's only on like the progressive left and that it's always against feminism and social justice warriors. And that's basically what this article is saying, is that, you know, they're the ones who are doing all of these bad things. And it's like, what about Thunderfoot, where there was a big collective trying to get him fired? Feminists trying to get him fired. What about Liz? I forget her last name at the moment, but I believe she's now a reporter for The Escapist. She got doxxed. What about Mundane Matt? He recently got swatted. Someone told the police that he was going to strap bombs to his kids. And here's the kicker, he doesn't have kids. And he got swatted. Don't you? And yet, the suggestion that this only happens on our side doing it to feminists, and even puts Paul Elam into the crosshairs for having dirts in their backs, and we're going to dig it up and spread it around like gonorrhea in a whorehouse. Well, what's this? Well, I don't ever remember Paul actually saying that, but let's see where she linked us to. Okay, nowhere on here does it have anything mentioned about that. Whoopsie! Mislinked the wrong thing. The actual thing she's referring to is an article on August 23rd, 2015, which Paul Elam did an article about. And in there, he does say that, but what this article is actually talking about, and it requires some context, because what Paul Elam was talking about is that, you know, there were events there, like Jeff Charlotte recruited a pedophile and inserted him at ICMI 14 in order to cast us in a horrific light. Also brought a young woman in to attempt to sexually entice a member of AVFM staff into a compromising position so he could write from that angle. And this is not an allegation, it is a fact. Deliberately took a statement Dan Perrin's way out of context in order to defame him. So basically, there was a lot of defamation against A Voice for Men. And that is why he says, so you can bet now that it's Jeff Starlet, Mariah Blake, and Adam Sewer, and a whole lot of other people have dirt in their backgrounds. We're going to dig it up and spread it around like gonorrhea in a whorehouse. That is what she's referring to. He was angry about all of these things, and it just finally came out. Now, in Paul's defense, he later took down the article and apologized for this. My sincerest apologies for letting my emotions get the best of me, that this is not something he wanted to do, and it was a lapse in judgment. So, yeah, and one, you linked the wrong thing, you stupid moron. But secondly, you're using something that he said in an emotional outburst and then later apologized for it, which means nothing to you. He admitted he was wrong for saying that, and yet you still want to use it against him. You know, it's different when we use like quotes from Andrew Dworkin that says that, you know, all men should be castrated or something. I forget what the exact quote is. But, you know, it's not like she later made a retraction and it's like, you know what, it was wrong for me to say that. And if she did, let me know. Let me know that she actually made a retraction for any of the crap she's ever said. Or any of the things like Susan Brown Miller, I think it is, said. Or, you know, God, I can't even think of these famous feminists anymore. Or Mary Kay Koss. Mary Koss has said that there's a retraction somewhere that they were wrong. Because if they were, I would say, you know what? They've admitted that they were wrong about this, and we should no longer use this statement against them. So I'm going to go ahead and read these last few parts as what she was saying in this article, because I think it really stands out.
In other words, we should scrutinize some conservative troll or a video game spokeswoman or a social justice blogger to the same rigorous standards of integrity and consistency that we would a person in an elected office. That is, after all, why opposition research was initially developed as a tactic to vet candidates in line for positions of real power and consequences, not to shred the privacy of someone on the internet whom you disagree with. Unfortunately, it can be hard to see how disproportionate and damaging the technique is when your side is the one doing it. Certainly, RAP's investigators, of whom there appear to be several dozen, do not believe their Arrow's escort site revelations constitutes harassment. They fail to recognize that just because someone makes a product that is publicly accessible, or worse, because someone is tangibly and distantly involved in the making of the product that is publicly accessible, does not mean that they themselves should be. Their entirety accessible to the public. And the mere fact that something can be publicized is not ethical justification for doing it.
I actually agree with that. To a point. That, just because someone does something publicly doesn't mean that we should really try to dig through their past and try to find something bad about them to use against them, especially if it was just an opinion they had on something and use it to assassinate their character. Now, if it is as people say that she supports child prostitution and stuff like that, okay, that should come up in a conversation. But it's just like having the wrong opinion on anything can be used to assassinate your character. And if it was really just, as Monday Matt was suggesting, a comparison of how Japan does things, the United States does things when it comes to like sex trade or whatever, and not the illegal sex trade, but just sex trade in general, then just having a different opinion that is unpopular shouldn't have been used against her. I agree with that. But if what they're saying, if either A, what they're doing now is damaging and we need to show that this is a repeated pattern of behavior, like in the case of Zoe Quinn, or something they've done in their past needs to be revealed as saying, hey, this is actually a bad person, then I can understand it. Now, what Alison Rapp basically was accused of doing was that they took characters that were a certain way in Japan and changed them for the US market. Now, that may not actually have been all of Alison's fault. She may have been responsible for it, but that's because the United States have different rules in which they do things. Is it right? No, but that's how it's always been. If you look at the history of video games, it's always been like that. And it's always been like parental groups that change certain things for the release in the US. And I'm not defending Alison Rapp, but I'm just saying that just because you don't like a decision that a company made doesn't mean that we have to dig up dirt on her to try to ruin her. So I do agree with this, that just because she made a product decision doesn't mean we should have gone after her the way that many did. At the same time, though, if, and again, I haven't researched myself, so I can't confirm or deny this, it is shown that she is in favor of child prostitution, then there is room for suggestion that maybe this should be brought to the light, and be like, hey, Nintendo, were you aware of this here when you hired her? I'm willing to bet Nintendo was aware of it and just let her go because publicity demanded that they do so. But anyways, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for coming out. 30 minutes. Shit. I didn't mean to do it for that long. So articles that I've done, consider donating to my Patreon. Hopefully this new mic worked wonders today. It actually has a pop filter and everything. But yeah, consider donating to my Patreon. Maybe I can get better quality videos. Also get help for my medical treatments. If you don't want to do Patreon, but still want to help me out, consider downloading my book. First book is free for download. Read it. If you like it, consider leaving a review. If you really like it, consider buying the next book that comes directly after that. It's only like a difference of 1 month. Read that. Again, same thing. If you like it, leave an honest review. I mean, if you fucking hated it and you're like, God, Mad Cat is like off his rocker if he thinks this is what writing is supposed to be, yeah, go ahead. Because I want the honest feedback. And also, voice equality, sign up where you are, hold social medias accountable for their actions. I hope that he didn't say that it was awkward that I was singing. Hopefully it wasn't that bad. I was just trying to have a little bit of fun. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. This is Mad Cat signing out.